Gabriela Isler from Venezuela.
Thank you. Hi, good afternoon. Hola. Thank you for coming to this afternoon. For me, it's a pleasure to be back in the Philippines, especially here in Manila. Last time I was here was back in 2014, and I get so much love and so much respect from all of you guys, so many familiar faces that I'm happy to see again. So thank you for coming today. I don't know if you're gonna speak before or... Oh, okay. Let me put this here.
I'm sure a lot of your fans here are very interested to know what you've been doing the past few days. So maybe you'd like to give them an overview of what you've been doing.
Yeah, well, for those who know me, maybe you know that I speak or I write a lot. So this is what I'm gonna try to do a long story short. This 2018, a lot of things happened in my life, and related to pageants, one of the most important change in my careers. I'm now one of the national directors of Miss Venezuela organization, and I took that position, which I call the corporate role. I'm not like the pageant girl anymore. I'm behind the desk, actually, with a huge responsibility to lead, along with two other title holders, the Miss Venezuela organization. So, being one of the national directors allowed me to came back to Asia. To be present in the Miss World back in Sanja, because of faces that actually went, pageant lovers. And I visited Bangkok to cover Miss Universe as well as one of the national directors. So after 4 years, almost 5 years, I had the chance to came back again to Asia. And I cannot miss the opportunity to come back to the Philippines. It was in my bucket list since a couple of years ago, because I started something here back in 2014. As you, maybe all of you know, back in 2014, I came to the Philippines in March to visit Palawan, to visit Coron. And I partnered with an organization called Miss Universe, partnered back then with an organization called Coron, one of the largest Catholic organizations to relieve and to support during disaster times. So I started a program with them for flourishing communities in Tagbanwa, I can pronounce it, Tagbanwa. And it was always in my heart to come back to the Philippines, to overseas and actually saw the evolution of those programs in these communities. So I made the decision after a couple of days of traveling in Asia to let's go back to Manila and let's go back to Coron.
Can you give us an update as to how much better things are there right now?
Yes, here's the story. So I contact Cordate, the Catholic organization, to arrange this visit and this trip to Coron. They call the MBT, Malawi, Buena Vista, and Tara communities on Palawan. And I have to say that one of the main things, because Philippines is so close to my heart and marked actually my entire career, my humanitarian career forever, is because the first time I came, you usually think that you're coming to give them something, that you're coming to give them hope, that I was coming to give them support, that I was coming to give them help during the disaster time. And I realized that the Filipino community, especially the indigenous communities in this place, gave me one of the biggest lectures in my life. They taught me how to be grateful, how to be full of joy, and how to be happy no matter whatever you do not have in this moment. This community, by the time, didn't have clean water, they didn't have electric smiles. A warm community giving me the welcome me, and they give me food, even they don't have anything for them to eat. So on that trip, my humanitarian career just gave a twist, and I decided to focus my entire reign as Miss Universe to give back and to compromise myself and commit myself to all the efforts that can help communities around the world, especially here in Filipina, that is one of the largest the fan base for Miss Universe. So I went back, and I realized that the same happiness, the same joy, the same passion for giving, to share their culture, it was there with this community, with this indigenous community that may not speak Tagalog, they may not speak English, they speak their own dialect, but they're very communicate with me, with their eyes, with their emotions. And I have to say that Cordate, the organization that we're working, Miss Universe is still working with them, with all the funds that were raised back in 2014, more than $250,000 that were invested in these communities. Now we can see not just recovery villages, but almost a model village that they were receiving training, they were receiving education in fishing and how to improve their livelihoods and how to do the weaving so they can sell the handcraft to the communities of Coron, and even though take that handcraft and bags to the international trade fairs. So this community became a model communities that have, they're very conscious about the natural resources that they have, and they're very conscious about the ecosystem. It's the only way that they have to survive, but it's a lot of things that actually communities have to improve. Because I don't know if you realize, there's a lot of climate change happening around the world, and these communities are not, they're now better prepared to actually cope and act during the situations. But I have to say that I went back and I saw an amazing, stronger community ready to confront anything that may happen. They have food farms. They're actually growing their own farms. They're growing the pandan leaf so they can produce all the handcraft. They're working with forest and water people that is taking care of all of that so they can take care of the natural resources. And for me, just see this community improving their life in this way. They still give me food and they make such a beautiful table, the usual traditional dance. So it was very happy for me to come back and see there still is a lot to do over there. So partnering with Cordate, with the local stakeholders like the church and the Red Cross and another organization that I'm working there, I'm planning to come again soon and continue supporting them. They're very concerned about the youth having education and having scholarships to go to the university, because they know that the future for those kids is not just the fishing and the waving. They want for the kids and the youngest community, from the indigenous community, have an opportunity actually in this real city life. So it's a lot to do over there, and I'm happy to see the growing, to see the improvement, and to receive the same love, the same support, and to have the same lecture of being grateful and be happy with the small things that life can give you.
That's awesome. Thank you very much for giving so much of your time, your efforts, and your resources for our countrymen. And now at this point, I'm sure a lot of our media friends have their own respective questions. So we will now open our question and answer portion. So, guys.
Hello.
Yes.
Good afternoon. Gabriela, do you have plans? My name is Mike Herrera. Do you have plans of writing your own book as Miss Universe?
Yes, actually last year, on the 2018, was a year full of new things in my life. I get this new position with Miss Venezuela's national director. I moved from New York to Miami to Venezuela, so I have like 3 storages around different places. I got married, and one, it was actually working in my book. I became a key of my personal life during pageantry, during college, during my childhood. So I started a movement called Choose You. In Spanish, is Elígete a ti. I'm trying to empower young people to put themselves first no matter what is the challenge that you have in your lives. So I already did a couple conferences in between Miami, Costa Rica, Panama, a couple cities of Venezuela, and I'm planning to, I'm actually working in my book, trying to give the community a practical guideline to how to follow my manifesto, which is composing 5 different strengths. So yes, the book is coming. I hope so for this year we can launch it.
Hi Gabriela, I'm Voltaire. So nice to see you here.
Again, we have like 5 pictures together.
Yes, from Sanya. Actually, that was one of my highlights because when I saw you there, I was having dinner with Megan.
Yes.
Wait.
It was Megan and it was Stephanie Miss the same night.
I was like, is that Gabriela? To see you there. But I'm glad that you're here and the Philippines welcomes you. Now, you were Miss Venezuela, Miss Universe. Which is more difficult and how different is it to be Miss Venezuela, Miss Universe, and now the National Director?
I think it's a kind of even more responsibility because I was responsible of myself by that moment, so I can kind of control or own my actions, my words, my performance. It was about me at that moment and representing my country. But in this case, as a national director, I think the responsibility is bigger because I will be working with a title holder. I'm actually leading the communications and the relationship with the franchise. So now it's not just being a pretty face, or being a role model, or becoming a spokesperson, represent an organization. Now I'm part of an organization that needs to form, train, and actually be responsible of, but not budget, that's not my area, but be responsible in my case as a public relations and training director of Miss Venezuela. I have the responsibility to create a pensum of education and training program for our title holders from the different 3 Grand Slam, Miss Universe, World, and Miss International. I have the responsibility to create the education program and the training for the contestants back in Venezuela to compete for Miss Venezuela, doing all the follow-up for the training for the international competitions, leading the communications with all the franchise, which is not easy. Each one have a different aspirations. So the responsibility, I think, is bigger because I have not just one country with higher expectations. I have countries like the Philippines, like US, like another countries for South America and Latin America that have the eyes in Venezuela. And this is a year of learning, so I'm hoping to continue to learn from the good things, from the bad things, and do my best. And I think from the experience I can bring something different to the organization, and my expectation is just to bring more hope and happiness to my country. Thank you.
I'm sure a lot of our friends also are very curious, and I think one of the more common questions that they're probably asking is, what has the Miss World organization, Miss World Philippines, have to do with a former Miss Universe? So, can you tell us more about how your relationship with Mr. Vegafria happened? How did it all start?
Well, actually, yes. People is not get used to see someone from Miss World working with Miss Universe. But we actually crossed in Sanja. We didn't meet, we didn't have a conversation in Sanja. He was judging Miss World competition, December 8th, and I was there as a national director. But actually, everything started a year ago when my agent back in New York, and I was having a conversation with him, and I say, I really want to go back to the Philippines, to Indonesia, to that side of Asia that gave me so much love and so much respect, and I really want to explore. And we called Arnold, like, hey, I have Gabriela, that she's very curious about the Filipino market and the Asian market, but that conversation just ended over there because I was working in New York. I was based there. And this year, I called my agent and said, hey, do you remember when I say that I was looking forward to explore Asia? Well, this is the time. So we contact back Arnold, and we met here in Manila a couple weeks ago, and now he will be acting as my business manager here in Asia and the Pacific. Looking forward to have more reasons to come back to the Philippines.
That's great. We're looking forward to that. Can we have a few words from Mr. Vega Frio?
Of course, it's my pleasure to work with, of course, the Miss Universe, Gabriela. Like what she said, we have a communication since last year through her agent in New York and in Miami. And I'm trying to, my vision now is not only the local artists that I want to handle, I want to handle also the international artists. So Gabriela's project is not only in the Philippines but also in Asia as well. So we're trying to explore more projects, but fortunately in the Philippines she got 2 to 4 endorsement coming. She'll start next week the pictorials and the shoot of her commercial. Thank you, and we're very positive that we can get more projects. And good thing is she has the heart of a Filipina. She likes Philippines, she likes Asia. So that's the reason also that these companies are eager also to help to support her because of her, her passion in promoting not only the Miss Universe but also the Philippines as well. She went around the country to explore the beauties of our country, especially our natural resources. So that's one also of the campaign that she will do for Gabriela. So thank you, Gabriela, for the trust and confidence of getting me as your business manager for Asia and Pacific. Thank you.
Molly? Can we have a few words from Gabriela first?
Just want to complete what Arnold said. On that visit to Palawan, to Coron, actually had the chance to explore the beauty of the Philippines, because in 2014 it was not tourist oriented. Everything was on recovery time. So this time I said, I need to see all the beautiful beaches. So we went to Coron and actually we explored for 3-4 days all the lagoons, all the white sand beaches, and we had a beautiful time there. So after that, we came back to Manila. We went to the Mine Museum, the Ayala Museum, the National Historic Anthropology Museum, the National Museum of History. So I had the opportunity not just to see, but to learn more from your culture and all the similarities that we can have. So love that you can mix Spanish too.
We do hope that you consider the Philippines your second home from here on.
I hope so. If you see the globe, we're like behind. Like the same, but
Molly?
Hi, Gab. Welcome back. Okay, my question is, what do you think is the most significant development that the community you're helping in Palawan?
Yeah, the most significant development
Between 2014 and today.
Yeah, one of the most significant is the water resources. They're actually now they know how to manage the ecosystem, and they know how to manage the water resources. Clean water, maybe for all of us, is not a necessity. For them, it's a luxury. So have the opportunity to learn and be trained on the management of natural resources. So get the water from the natural springs and have the water facilities in their village. For them, it's very valuable. They have actually people that is taking care. They guard the water so that people do not utilize the resource. And one of the biggest evolution of this community, they create any disaster that can come. They're waiting for El Niño, which is going to happen in the couple next month, and they know how to deal with natural disasters. They have radio and communications to actually create a plan from the 3 closest communities, which is Tara, Malawi, and Buena Vista, so they can all support each other. And they have the training to build better homes that they can protect them from the storms, from the typhoons. So this community is now more prepared. We pass from disaster recovery to resilient. Now you see a stronger community, well-organized community, and more conscious about the natural resources, that they're just waiting to have the indigenous, they call the land ownership, the land territory, because they say if they can own and handle the land, they can actually get more income from tourist activities and the fishing, etc. But you see a model community that now is much stronger.
Okay, can I ask about Venezuela?
Sure.
Okay. Why the organization decided to appoint 3 national directors?
Yeah, back in 2018, April 2018, the organization decided to refresh the brand and give a twist of evolution to the Miss Venezuela pageant. And they select 3 former title holders. We have Miss World 95, which is Gabriela. We have the first Miss International from Venezuela, Nina Cecilia, and they choose me as a former Miss Universe. So now we are the only national directors actually lead by former title holders, and each one have a different role. Jacqueline, she plays a role of image director. So she's taking care of all the image, as is actually her background. She have model agencies and she loves the fashion, so she's taking care of all the image, wardrobe, etc. Nina, she has been working in finance for the entire life, finance and management. So she's the general manager of the organization, and she's taking care of all the yes. So she's taking care of all the budgets, finances, hiring people, and creating all the coordination and operation activities of La Quinta, as we call it, the house in Venezuela, Miss Venezuela. And in my case, they choose me as a public relations and training director. So the organization is looking forward to stand up and align ourselves to the international standards, to refresh the image of Venezuelan world girls in those pageants, and actually to give them the opportunity to work very close with former title holders that have the experience. And maybe we don't have the experience to train and make beautiful queens, but we have all our heart and all commitment to make it happen. And looking forward for a year ahead of new challenges. We need to pick a new queen for Miss Universe this year. So looking forward to put all our efforts there. And receive advice, because now you guys are having many queens. So you can give some advice to how you guys make it right now.
Thank you, and good luck to your modeling career.
Adam?
Hi, good afternoon, Ms. Gabriela. I'm Adam Hinato from Sash Factor. We're all excited that we're seeing you again here in Manila. In my book, you really are one of the most successful Miss Universe title holders in recent history.
Thank you very much.
I see that you are very passionate about your Core Day Foundation. My first question is, do you think advocacies like yours, or whatever girl stands for nowadays, do you think those are crucial things in winning pageants like Miss World or Miss Universe nowadays?
I think every woman that competes for any of the Grand Slam pageant, they have a story to embrace. They have a story to tell. It's not just to create an advocacy. It's just to own it. They have to be authentic in your heart, to work with the most vulnerable populations and the most needed. In my case, was so important to me. I came on March, and I was not sure how. I was like leading my reign to acting, hosting, singing, modeling. I was very confused about. I was not expecting to actually win the title. And it was a very crucial moment for me in my life, because I was struggling between, what should I do? So when I came here to the Philippines, I discovered myself ungrateful for everything that I had in that moment. And I saw all the joy, all the hope, all the passion of this community, and I say, hey, Gabby, you need to wake up. It's a lot of things that you can do. And maybe it's people that is expecting a smile, and maybe you don't feel okay with it that day, in that moment. But when I give a smile back, I receive 20. And I was like, wow, okay, this is a life-changing moment for me. So I decided to focus my entire reign and give back. Give back to each community that I visit, in every country that I went, and continue that after. I created my fund in Venezuela called the Isler Initiative, and I have a fund where I fundraise the money in the US, a 501c3, and I partner with different organizations. So the year after Miss Universe, I continue working as a spokesperson for charities and NGOs, and now I'm one of the global ambassadors for one of the largest immigrants, refugees, and displaced people around the world. And now my country became #1 of displaced peoples and migrants. So these have to come from your heart and work with those initiatives that actually are close to your personal story. Maybe someone in your family have a story to tell and you feel connected. That can make you help to win a contest. But if it's something created just to win the contest, it's not going to happen. Because that mask is going to fall eventually. And if you own it, if you have it in your soul, in your heart, you can connect with people. But if not, it's going to be just for the beauty purpose video, and that's it. Nobody will actually feel it. So I believe that judges, and maybe Arnold knows, they don't judge just the final night. They judge the entire competition. They saw your Instagram. They saw what you're doing in your country. And they're actually looking after that real girl with a real heart and with the real intentions to become a role model, a positive role model for their communities.
My last question is, for a first-time national director, how do you feel that Venezuela, declared by many pageant sites, is the country of the year last year because all your girls placed in all their international pageants. So how do you feel, and can you describe can you take us to your learning curve as to becoming a national director?
Well, my learning curve is still there. I'm still learning. It is a lot to understand. I was a part of the pageantry for a couple years, and when I came back, I was like, wow, this is people think that it's kind of like a Cinderella world. It is not. Competition behind is tough. Not just with the girls, with the designers, with the hairstylists. I mean, everyone have a really interest to be part of the process. And as a national director, I'm still learning. But I have to say that you guys do and play such a huge role with all your pages and with all your blogs and with all you guys do, because I was not aware of the summatory of the Grand Slams in Venezuela get the first and Philippines here, and I was like, okay, how do you guys put this together? Why? So it's there. So thank you guys for making me understand how pageantry works at your end as a fans, as actually experts on the topic.
It's called passion.
Yeah. So yeah. So we had actually Miss International 2018, Marian Velasco. She won the competition. I was dying that night. I was looking at the show in the middle of the night in Venezuela, and I literally called the person that is with her, like handling, and I realized that he was Filipino. And I was like, wow, I'm not surprised. But he was like, hey, Gabriela, you have a new queen. And I was like, yeah, so happy, because the training process with her especially, she's such a welcome and warm girl, and very smart. And that's what we want. And yes, we place in a couple, we place in Miss Universe, we place in Miss World, we place in Miss Earth. Even though we do not handle all those franchises, we have to recognize the good and the hard work that other organizations are doing. Because Miss Earth, Miss Supra, and Grand are handling by different owners. Yes.
Thank you very much.
My question is, since you are now, you have Arnold here as your business manager for the Asia Pacific region. So we expect you to come over here to the Philippines and other countries within Asia more often. So we know you're a TV presenter and you're a model also. How about movies?
Well, Arnold is like putting that idea on my head. Yes, back in Venezuela, it is difficult to explore acting careers or television careers because I don't know if you're aware of the blackout that we have on television. There's very few channels that actually work in Venezuela. That acting role, actually I went a couple of castings in New York with my talent agency there, but it was not projects that actually keep my interest. So I'm looking forward to come more often to the Philippines, and I know that Arnold is working with some projects with Netflix or another media partners. So I may do an acting training just because, I mean, you never know. So I can come back more often to the Philippines for that also.
Just one question. Going back to your visit to Coron, Palawan, now that you've seen the place, is there any appeal you want to relay to the public, to the government? Appeal? Any appeal?
Well, actually, the core data is working with local stakeholders. So they're working with the church, with the local government of Coron, and another local stakeholders. But yes, it is an interest to continue supporting this community. But it's a couple of things that actually there are aspirations of this community that do not depend of the local organizations or NGOs that are supporting them. As I mentioned, for example, they are very concerned about the education for the youth community of Tagba, yes. And that scholarship is something that depends on universities, private schools, and not just the government. They're very concerned to get the ownership of the land, the ancestral territory ownership, and this is something that needs to be escalated to another government institution. But they're getting attention, but I think they deserve more because they're actually taking big steps to the evolution as a community, and they're part of your heritage. This is the indigenous community. They're actually keeping the dialect, the language, the traditions, and they deserve attention, and they deserve an opportunity for them to grow as a community and to grow as a professional, and they not just stay there like fishing and waiting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hola, Gabriela. Mi nombre es Kim, represente Daily Tribune. The question is, how do you feel about the newly elected El Presidente, Juan Guaido?
Okay, I have 3 days non-sleeping because we have the 12-hour difference. So everything what is going on there in the day, I'm like here at midnight, like checking my internet and talking with my parents and my family. So after 20 years, you have a similar story with the President Marcos. After 20 years, we have a new president. This is like a dream. It's so real. I feel happy because this is something that is not, how can I say it in English? I have my Spanish like in my head. After 20 years, we have hope again. For so long, we have been struggling with our dignity, with our rights, with the freedom of our country, with the lack of opportunity. Right now, we are in one of the biggest humanitarian crises in my country, where people die because of cancer, leukemia, and maybe any disease like malaria that were like exterminated in countries. They're happening in my country, and we don't have the vaccines for that. So we are struggling in so many ways: economic, with an inflation that more than 1,000,000%, it is very challenging actually to have a living in Venezuela when your monthly wage is, I don't know, $5 or less, or it's ridiculous to actually take care of your family, give them, provide them education and food. And when you have an opposition that after years they became stronger and they're making a step following our constitution, because this new president, he was not appointed as other president can be appointed. This one was following our constitution. We vote for a national congress, and this congress now have the power, with this new president in charge, to follow and to lead all our country to the democracy. We have the recognition of more than 15 nations: the US, Canada, France, Germany, Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Brazil, so Peru. We have the recognition of the so many countries and organizations like the BID. So it's a huge step for Venezuela after 20 years. We are more close to democracy, and if you ask me how I feel over the moon, I feel happy, I feel grateful, and I feel honored to be part of a brave community, of my Venezuelan community, because I look forward to go back and live there and have my family there and bring back international investors and bring back international projects. But we need the security and the opportunities for that. So we are more close to that.
That's very nice. Muchas gracias.
Thank you for the question.
Hi, Gab.
Hi.
We just love it that you've drawn the similarities between your country and the Philippines. We have the same stories. I think you're well spoken enough. Are you considering a career in Venezuela?
Thank you.
Politics.
Well, that's a hidden dream or aspiration, but one of the reasons because I started working during my reign as Miss Universe in social responsibility, social projects, is because I would love to in the future be part actively of any, I don't know if politics, but public institutions related to health, and actually to be more involved in the social change and impact of my community. So hopefully with the new change of governments, we'll be safe for a person like me to have that aspiration and actually be active in my country in the way.
Love it. and we're also very proud of you've improved yourself. Last time we were with you, you were struggling with your English, but now you're very, very fluent. How did you do that?
Well, actually, this is a New York English. No, but I'm joking. It's true. When I won Miss Universe, my English was like 15%. I was able to communicate very, very little. And when I live in New York, you don't think that we always have like a tribe and we're like luxury girls like traveling with like secure. They say, hey girl, you have a class, take the subway, take a car. So you have to struggle the day by day with locals. And New York is a melting pot. So you can have someone from India, from, I don't know, South America, someone from Europe, like walking with you and talking with you every day. So I have to improve my English because there was no way to communicate with others in New York. But yes, and I learned a couple of words from Esther. I don't know. So she teach me how to defend myself.
Okay, my last question is, what do you think of our new Miss Universe, Gabriela, and what are your insights?
Actually, I was looking, not because I'm, again, following all pageants. All the Explore is about Catriona. I don't know if because I follow accounts of you guys or not, but I saw all the previous training that she had. I saw her like practicing the walk, practicing their makeup, practicing everything. I think she was so well prepared for that night, and having the chance actually organization, I think it allows her to have, not advantage, but to have more training and more preparation. And I saw an interview that she said that every step that she was placing, she did it with a grateful heart because she knows how she feels when you don't place. So I think she's a very humble and very smart girl, and a very good representative of your culture. And I think she's gonna do a good job. I saw her, and what I can feel from her, she looks very real, very humble, very sweet, and very down to earth. And more of that, very focused of her role on that community and on their community to give back, to compromise their voice, their strength, and the efforts for those that need it. So that's what we need. We need women to empower other women, and we need women that actually empower others to inspire. So I think she was gonna do a good job.
Thank you so much, Gab. You're a great representative of your country.
How about some Tagalog? Have you learned a few Tagalog phrases?
Kumusta? That's done Spanish, ¿cómo estás? So I learned. No, I love it. Well, guys, you guys speak English. And I love it because here I was struggling in Bangkok. I cannot say about China. We couldn't communicate with anybody there. It was very difficult because only few of them, even in the tourist industries, speak English. You guys here handle an impeccable second language, that is English. But no, I just learned the basics. Salamat po.
Hi, Gabriela. Hi, Gabriela.
Mabuhay, of course. Hello.
Thank you for coming back. And thank you for always flashing your bright and sincere smiles for all of us. My question is actually related to Sir Mario Dumawal's question. What do you think is the importance of, for all of us, like you, like us, to see a silver lining in every difficult situation and places, like the ones you have been to, those poor places and far-flung communities?
Sorry, Edson, can you repeat the question? I get confused.
Why do you think that it's important for us to see silver lining in every difficult situation or what's this, poor and challenged places?
I think we live in a bubble. Every day, our daily basis, our livelihoods is in this bubble. And we are not able maybe to see the reality of those that represent also our culture, in this case, Philippines. This type of community are maybe kind of like forgotten, like living there, and they're struggling to have opportunities, to have safe livelihoods. And for me, I think it's important that if you have a voice, you utilize that voice to give that voice to others that cannot speak out, and others that cannot have 40 media outlets listening to them. And they're part of your culture. I think for me it is important to give them the opportunity to fight for their aspirations and dreams. And if we can have the opportunity to connect them with someone that we know from a university, or someone that actually is into the month of, right now is the Philippine month of National Cultural Commission, and you say, hey, why we don't take the bags to this? I believe that everything is about networking, and everything is about the connections and the people that we know and the efforts that we can put together. So if we have something to share or highlight about poor and vulnerable community and others can help, if we keep it for ourselves, we are not able to expand the message. So it's all about how we can create impact in the life of others. But that's for me one of the purposes that we have as a human being. So it doesn't take anything away from you. Just give you the opportunity to support others.
Yes, thanks so much for that. Last question. Of all the Filipino foods you've tasted, which one is your most favorite so far? Mi favorito.
Favorito. But I try a lot adobo chicken, adobo. Now, actually, we have tried a lot of international food, but from the Filipinos, it's very similar to our dishes. It's rice, eggs, chicken, and we try it. I love it. It feels comfort food for me. It's not too spicy, and it's not too Asian, because you have that Spanish in your food as well. So every time that I go to a place, you have chorizo, rice, or it is very things that I know. So I love it. Yeah.
And enjoy your stay.
Hi, Gabriela, MJ from TV5. Hi. Before you became the national director of Miss Venezuela, there were a lot of issues that the girls faced there. Are there anything that you're addressing now, or you are fixing with the ladies there?
Yeah. Actually, it has been a very challenging year for the organization, and I suppose to continue speaking on my hat of former Miss Universe and not changing my hat as a director, but it is important to say that part of our challenge is the evolution of the structure of the organization and the changes that we are implementing for the safety and for the well-being and for the opportunities of our contestants. So one of the things that we created this year, it was the code of ethic. So in this code of ethics and in conduct, we try to give the instructions or the guideline to everyone that we're working with, designers, hairstylists, any sponsor, any people that work with us as a collaborator, and even the girls have to actually pledge to this code of ethics and conduct, so we can kind of like be sure that we're acting with the same line of respect and values. So the organization is standing up and refreshing their mission, vision, and purpose. So we are focusing ourselves and aligned with excellency, integrity, ethic, and respect. So that's what we're promoting as an organization. And for our girls, we're trying to provide everything to the girls, like from shoes, makeup, hair, stylists, all the training, all the lessons. Before to get to the Miss Venezuela, you have to go to a national competition and to the regional casting or pageant, and then you get to the Miss Venezuela. We open a website, or part of our website, we open a kind of like a system that you can upload your pictures and your profile, and you can create your contestant profile. So now we kind of give the opportunity to each girl in Venezuela that have connection to internet to apply to be a participant for the Miss Venezuela. We give them back the power. So you can go to the website, you can participate there, we select you, we call you, and when you go to the Miss Venezuela headquarters, before you were like have to go with hair and makeup. For the casting, we switch that and we provide a makeup and hair station so they can do the makeup and the hair at the Miss Venezuela headquarters. So everything is changing. We're more supporting the girls, and we're giving the opportunity to.
What were the loopholes before? Why did those issues arise, such as the alleged molestation, etc., etc.?
Actually, as I mentioned, I was very apart from pageantry in my couple past years. I was more focused on my communication career, but we had a different management. And during that management, a couple of things, I think maybe they're not, how can I say in English? It is a couple of things that can be done in a better way for the benefit of all the girls and contestants. And we are trying now to say, hey, maybe if the other management thinks in this way, we're going to change this, and we're going to make sure that anything cannot vulnerate our contestants. So I don't want to speak out on behalf of the oldest management. Just want to focus on the future and what we're doing right now as an organization. Because I cannot speak out from the mistakes or the actions of others, but I can speak out for what we are doing right now.
Thank you so much. Good luck with that.
When you give me difficult questions, my Spanish came like incredible.
Any request from her?
Hello. Hi. Buenas tardes, Gabriela. Bienvenidos. Nandiyan mo Army National Philippine Daily Inquirer. with what you mentioned about the struggle of Venezuela, what do you want to tell the Filipino-Venezuelan experience so that we will not be able to experience having 1,000,000% increase in inflation rate and foreign investors leaving the country? What can we learn as a nation from you?
Well, that's a tough question. Yes. I think if from Venezuela, the Filipino community usually look up after pageantries, right? When I went to Bangkok, I met a lot of media, and they say, we admire you, we always saw your walk, and we watch your videos, and we practice, and you guys look over what we're doing in pageantry, but that is a reflect of the Venezuelan. We are that's the Venezuelan that we want to show to the world. Those that have discipline, those that are resilient, that overcome challenges, that overcome anything that is happening, and to give the best smile to the world. But I think from you guys, it's a lot that we need to learn from you as well. As I mentioned, I went to the museum and I saw all the interventions that you have from the past of history, from Spanish, from the US, from Japan, from China, from the Islam. I mean, you have so many things that make you guys a community stronger. And as a Venezuelan, what can I say? I mean, you have such a good economy, as I see. You guys have the opportunity for those youth population, and actually is very stable. I can compare this with the US easily. For me, it doesn't feel like Asia. I feel like I'm more close to the US, to Asia, and I don't know. I mean, from Venezuela, it is a lot to learn. But I think you guys are in the same level of respect, bravery, courage, commitment, discipline, and warmth. So if we can teach something to you guys, I don't know, just let me know. I will be happy.
Bueno mas, what do you think in your experience here in the Philippines being a model, actress, and host? How can that help you in your job as the National Director for Miss Venezuela organization?
Okay. Well, as I mentioned, I think everyone here have a different hats, right? Because you maybe have a blog, the Sash Factor, but maybe your real job is accounting. Who knows? So it's the same for a former Miss Universe. We have that hat forever, but we love actually to expand our career in different areas. So be part of the national directors and being able to continue to work on my career as a model, as a host, maybe as an actress in the future. I think it will give me maybe the knowledge and worldwide vision about the opportunities that this girl could have, and give me the chance to explore not just the market, but for them to say, hey, I learned this. I saw that this is happening in the other side of the world. What can I bring from this side of the world that can help those girls in Venezuela? They're looking to opportunities to expand their careers. So I think it will be a learning process for me, and everything that I learned from here, I'm very happy to take it back to Venezuela and see how we can develop opportunities for those girls in the pageantry area, and even more for the community.
Muchas gracias.
De nada.
More questions from our friends? What about the guys?
Hola.
Hola.
Gabriela. My question is, could you tell us about Universe of Blessings?
Yes. Well, as I mentioned, right after I finish I give my crown as Miss Universe, I start my foundation, and I open a fund in the US, 501c3, where the people can donate. It's called Universe of Blessings. I'm Catholic, and for me, Miss Universe was a blessing. So I decided to call the Universe of Blessings Fund. And with this fund, I support my initiative in Venezuela, which is called the Easter Initiative. This Easter Initiative works along with another stakeholders in Venezuela, focusing on health, education, and family values. So I partner with different organizations, and we're supporting right now almost 5,000 kids between 10 institutions It is a small number, but we want to make sure family planning education and family values education, because I'm very focused to reduce teen pregnancy in my country and to reduce maternal mortality. So we create a media campaign that is called If You Run, What You Wish, What You Win. Si te apuras, que ganas. If you rush, what you win. So we're trying to tell the youth and the girls that they don't have to rush themselves to be a mom. But it's a bunch of factors that actually push them to get pregnant before the right time. So with Universal Blessings and the Iniciativa Isla in Venezuela, we support education, family values, and we're trying to make them enough brave to stand up and say, hey, my education is first, my personal development is first, and my family is first. So kids are coming later. And hopefully for this year, actually like 2 years ago, I was working with Cordate, and I bring a doctor to Venezuela to develop a flourishing community program there too. So hopefully when all the government change happen, and it is safe to go back and bring people to start a new program, I will continue with the initiative, but even bigger. So we'll be including not just education, but health treatment for the girls, and continue my efforts as much as I can on that area.
Salamat. Mahal ka namin.
Thank you, Mel. At this point, we'd like to formally close our question and answer segment, and we'd like to make way for TV crew interviews. You may continue your interviews later. Thank you. May we call Mr. Arnold Free?
Sir Richard.